would actually go to take the shot, so your fingers on the trigger and you'd pull the release, was there...
Right before I pull the trigger, I'm looking exactly where I want to shoot, what I want to hit. I might close my eyes for a second and open it just to see if my sights are still on target. That's determining your natural point of aim. And if not, that means something's off with your body position. I'm still breathing at that point. My eyes are still locked onto the target. I'm not gonna be surprised and, oh, blink or nothing like that. Eye stays glued onto the target, onto the scope, and there's no different when it comes to sniping. We're not doing box breathing or anything. It's regular breathing, just deeper, more conscious breaths. But it's and you want to hear. You can you get really in tune with your own breath, listening to it. Slow down, calm down, calm down. I'm just shooting a gun. Relax. The more tight that you are, more tension in your muscles, the worse shot you're gonna have. You just want to be a slab of meat behind the gun. And once you have achieved that state, everything else is like second nature.
What's the, when you would actually go to take the shot, so your fingers on the trigger and you'd pull the release, was there, like Danny Hall talked about, it was actually trippy watching him talk about it, because he turned right to the camera and aimed at the camera, and he would just go, shh, or something like that. Uh-huh. Is it similar, like what you would do?
I'm always on the glass, looking through. Right before I pull the trigger, I'm looking exactly where I want to shoot, what I want to hit. I might close my eyes for a second and open it just to see if my sights are still on target. That's determining your natural point of aim. And if not, that means something's off with your body position to the rifle. So you want to change up a body position or whatever. But one long breath out, good breath out, not to the point to where you hold it, because then after a while you start to get the little twitches and your lack of oxygen. So right on my exhale, I'm pulling the trigger back as crisp and straight back to the rear as I possibly can. You don't want to, I went to this shooting school in Texas, and it talked about the harmonics of a rifle. Every time the rifle shoots, it whips at a very, I'm not going to say microscopic level, but if you slow down a rifle shooting, you'll see it whip. And it's actually pretty amazing that these bullets can go straight that way, or as straight as they do when the bullet whips after you shoot it, or the gun shakes. And it's the harmonics of it, but it has a natural harmonic frequency or tune or whatever that it's always going to be consistent at, or within those parameters. But if you introduce an outside influence, let's say if I were to rest the barrel on top of this wooden table, right, and pull the trigger, the bullet's not going to go straight anymore, or it's going to go straight. It's just not going to go where I wanted it to because of the harmonics when it goes off. So I'll get an impact up high. You'll see the bullet go up higher. If I'm introducing tension or pressure on the top part of the barrel with the hard object, it causes the bullet to go low or shoot lower or wherever. So pulling the trigger straight back to the rear so you don't interfere and touch the rails on the inside of the gun helps out with the harmonics of making the rifle be or shoot as straight as it possibly can within its parameters. And that's the stuff I'm looking for. Straight pull back to the rear. Don't touch the sides of the rail with the trigger. Hold it back. Don't slap the trigger. It's called follow through. I'm still breathing at that point. My eyes are still locked onto the target. I'm not gonna be surprised and, oh, blink or nothing like that. Eye stays glued onto the target, onto the scope, and shoot. See where it hits. If I have to make an adjustment, don't freak out about it and say, oh, it hit here, adjust here. If I have to dial up, or if I'm going to hold it up, or use the little mill dots we talked about to adjust for the shot. But there's not much, maybe I just never thought too much into it. It was just it's a job, I guess. You know the job, you know what you have to do to calm down. And it took you a lot to get there anyways. You just don't, wake up and say, I'm going to be a sniper today. That's a tough, different. It's a different mindset to get into.
Yeah, I think you have to be for different just to be in the military and or special ops in general. You have to be built mentally a little differently. But then in the specific jobs one can have, there's different mentalities that may work the best for each of
Yeah,
them. And
yeah,
it's very clear that at least, when you were in your career doing this and in the moment, like you almost come across as like dry.
very,
Like
very.
like cut and dry. This is what it
Yeah,
is. All right, there's a shot. Cool. Let's take it.
yeah,
And
very.
that's to me, because like I'm an emotional guy.
Really?
Yeah, I would not in your job. I don't know that if I had trained to do that, I wouldn't have been as suited for it because I'm more.
Emotional how? Like you would cry
No,
or
no, no. Like I'd be too jacked.
ah,
I'd be like, oh, fuck, let's go. You know what I
really?
mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
like you saw that dude like recoil in the video of the Trump attempted assassination
Yeah.
up there. It was
Yeah.
almost like he was like a little too up
Uh-huh.
for that moment right there. That's not the guy who took the shot,
Huh.
right? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't. I mean, we're all human. There might have been something there at some point where you're like, oh shit. But
Yeah.
you are very like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I think all snipers are. The guys that train me and the guys that I've seen, just most of the snipers that I know are quiet, very, like you said, just very cut and dry, just very, this is it. That's it. It's not too much thought behind it. Um, if you thought a lot as a sniper, I don't think you'd make a great sniper. The more you think about stuff,
I'm out.
yeah, it could.
gone.
If your mind starts getting to you and asking too many questions, yeah, it's not a good job to have.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
floating around in this head of mine. You wouldn't like that in your job for
But
sure.
after you become a sniper and after you've served, then you just develop this weird case of ADD. Like all snipers have ADD now. Well, not a lot of them that I know.
What do you think that's because of?
I think we've always had it. It's just for some odd reason, sniping, like, I guess it's its natural remedy or medicine. I don't know. But I know a lot of snipers with ADD. Like, I have ADD really bad. Yeah, bad. But
It's almost like the stakes are. You need the stakes there to be high enough that it's
Yeah.
like, ooh, other people are depending on me, so I can lock
there
in.
you go. Yep. I would have made like a terrible, I guess I don't know. I don't think I would have made a great SEAL. Like my mind gets to me in dark places. And I've been scuba diving, got the whole scuba diver thing, but I don't like being in dark places and not being able to see. Like that freaks me out. Daytime jumping out of a plane, I'm still terrified, but I'll like borderline pass out at nighttime jumps. And that's the majority of the jumps that we did in battalion were all nighttime. And I have some terrible stories of jumping at nighttime. It's just I can't see anything. The unknown is just weird, yeah. So I'd have made a terrible SEAL in the long run. So I'm glad they didn't.
It worked out for you.
Yeah, it worked out perfect, man.
It worked out just fine. But you named your gun Dirty Diana.
Yes, sir.
Where'd that come from?
Michael Jackson.
Just the song itself.
Straight
You're like,
up
I just want
Michael.
to name it Dirty Diana.
I was a huge Michael Jackson like fan growing up. One of the oldest memories I have, I was still in Germany. I was sitting on my mom's lap, and this Michael Jackson concert or his performance came on, and I remember him ripping off his shirt, opening up. Yeah, that's all I remember, man, and that stuck with me. And like, I loved Michael Jackson, growing up and listening to his music and stuff. But Dirty Diana, I liked the guitar in it. Just like I had no idea what it was about. I just liked the song and the guitar. And I remember we were doing this mission, and this was in Iraq. And we had these, and inside the Striker, there's speakers. You can have internal comms and stuff. One of my teammates, I'm not going to mention his name, he plugged in his, what do we call those things? An iPod?
Like where it was
The music
without the phone? Yeah,
It was
iPod.
just iPods.
Yeah.
He connected his iPod to the internal speakers, and we had some Michael Jackson playing in this crazy firefight in Mosul. And it was
Wait, you had Michael Jackson
Yeah.
playing
Oh yeah.
while you're out here snatching bodies.
Yeah. It's the sickest thing ever. Yeah. That was
I think you guys might need to talk to some shrinks. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. That was one of my cooler times in Iraq.
Can you imagine just being a terrorist and you go out to like Michael Jackson and just be like, Dirty Diana!
No, it's the time, man. Oh yeah.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here